Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So definitely a lot to talk about regarding a certain wide receiver that has become available from the New York Jets. And we're going to talk about the Jets matchup just a little bit, what the Eagles have to do to really beat the New York Jets come next Sunday to become 6-0. And a returning Philadelphia Eagle will be back into the linebacker core this week.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yeah, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's enjoying their work week. I hope everyone's enjoying it. The 5-0 that we are at right now, and we're ready to get 6-0. Ready to get this, take every week by itself, one week at a time, one day at a time. And I think that's what's really important here. Now, I want to go over obviously a wide receiver that's become available for the New York Jets since we are facing them this week, and all this news has been coming out about Mecole Hardman, that the Jets have been shopping him. I don't know if he's even played this year that much. I think he hasn't played, didn't play last. He didn't play. I don't think he played last game. I think the past couple games, I don't even know. But it looks like they are shopping him. He did sign a 1-year, $4 million deal with the Jets this past season. They barely have done much with him. I always kind of wonder how much do the Eagles really value Quez Watkins and Zaccheaus. And, we're going to talk about them later in this video as well. But I always kind of wonder, the value there is, even with Quez coming back, I know Hurts missed him on a couple opportunities, one for a touchdown and one for a third down, which we were at midfield, and he overthrew Quez Watkins wide open. It's kind of weird how, players that start, like Zaccheaus, took over the reins pretty much when Quez Watkins got hurt early this season, and then I thought Zaccheaus would have pretty much won the job at this point, and Quez Watkins, gets to start immediately like it's nothing. Like, he earned his job back in 2 seconds, and they must feel very high about him on Quez Watkins. But Mecole Hardman is interesting as well. He's played some special teams. He was a nice product for, Kansas City for a while. He's a speedster. You can play outside, inside. You could use him on special, end arounds, reverses. You could do almost anything with him. He's got that speed. He's got really good vision, and he's been a pretty good wide receiver, but, just been mostly a product and really trying to find his way after leaving Kansas City. So there are rumors that he might go back to the Chiefs. I don't know how much interest that the Eagles would have in another receiver as of right now. You would have to get rid of somebody, obviously, but this is, something that, maybe the Eagles, I know Joe Douglas is good friends with with Howie Roseman and the organization, and you never know what could be cooking up a little bit. Mecole Hardman could be used in different ways for this offense. And I know we're kind of dealing with enough with this offense where we're, why add another player they have to try to fit into this offense when we can't even sometimes fit our own players in this offense. So I totally get it, but just something to throw out there. Not saying it's going to happen, not going to happen. Take it with a grain of salt, as I'm saying right now, but who knows? Maybe Howie Roseman's just seeing that. Maybe, what do they do here if they sign him? You know what I mean? You're obviously not using Rashad Penny right now. I think that can open a roster spot. You put him back to practice squad. If you're not gonna use Rashad Penny, just put him on the practice squad and protect him every single week at this point. I mean, what is he doing? Wasting a waste of a roster spot where we can have depth and we can use another player at another position, which, maybe we need, So definitely something to look out for. But like I said, nothing promising. But, I think Mecole Hardman would definitely thrive in the Eagles offense, and that would add another speedster to it, which would be pretty good. So would he be better than Quez Watkins in the slot? You never know. I think I think he could be as good as Quez, or definitely better. So we'll see what happens with that down the line, but just something to kind of throw out there. And the 21-day practice window for Nakobe Dean to come back has already happened. I already said earlier in the week that there's a big chance that Dean might return. And the thing that we're worrying about the most now is Dean coming back and Dean starting. As I talked about the wide receivers before, Zaccheaus took over for Quez Watkins, and as soon as Quez was healthy to come back, they threw him right in the starting group. So I'm just saying to myself, if they put Nicholas Morrow on practice squad, I am going to be pissed off, okay? He dropped a pick against the Rams. He had a couple good tackles, but obviously the game before that was like he had Pro Bowl numbers with 3 sacks, 11 tackles and a forced fumble. playing Washington into that overtime game that we won. So I think you're gelled together really nicely at linebacker. I understand the Eagles put no money towards this position, and thank God Zach Cunningham is healthy. Knock on wood, and thank God that Nicholas Morrow is, has played well in the past, especially for Sean Desai / Vic Fangio's defense when he was with the Bears. Had 116 tackles last year. Guy's a tackling machine. We know the guy could play. I think the linebackers have been very, very consistent, I got to say. And I feel like when you start Nakobe Dean all over again, it's going to ruin the mojo for this team. I think Nakobe Dean needs to obviously be on this roster, on the active roster, so you're going to have to put something to get more depth at linebacker is perfectly fine. You want to use Nakobe Dean in certain packages, or I don't know, you can always use him. I just hope Nakobe Dean coming back doesn't affect the linebacker core because they're just playing so good. And like I said, we don't put money into the position. We're already not putting money into it as it is. And if things are working the way they are, do not change it up. Do not switch too much with this defense because you're just asking for it at this point. So we'll see in the coming days for Nakobe Dean. It doesn't mean that Nakobe Dean's going to play Sunday, but you never know. I think it was a foot injury or something like that. And just see what happens. It sucks because I really want Nakobe Dean to play, but at the same time, we're 5-0 right now. We're getting ready to play the Jets to become 6-0, and you don't want to ruin the gelling process of that linebacker core. When Nakobe Dean's been hurt 2 times already. He missed so much valuable time in the offseason this year between joint practices and preseason games. He made the one preseason game, and that was pretty much it. And made a play, which was good. But, this linebacker core definitely needs more work, and I think they're consistent right now, and I think you need to keep it that way. And I just don't want Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean's a young talent. It's like 2 veterans are taking over for this linebacker core, and it's working. You know what I mean? And you have to add Nakobe Dean to this roster. So who they're going to take away, I don't know. But, if Nakobe Dean starts next game, just like how Quez started as soon as he got back, that's what's making me afraid right now going forward. And I don't know, hopefully maybe we see a different player, but the practice window is open. He's got a few weeks to come back, and, we'll see what happens this week. Now, the New York Jets, okay? Now, I do not want to, and I think a lot of Eagle fans have been just passing over the Jets, and they've been kind of looking at, the Miami Dolphins already, okay, on Sunday Night Football. Okay, you cannot look over this team in a lot of ways. Is Zach Wilson the best quarterback we are facing on our schedule right now? No. I mean, other than Daniel Jones, I think Zach Wilson is the worst quarterback that we are facing on our schedule. Their offensive line isn't good. I know that their standout guard tackle, Elijah Vera Tucker, had an Achilles injury. So, losing him definitely was a big hit for that team this week. Last game against the Broncos. The Broncos did a good job against the Jets defense. The screen game was working really good. I feel like you can run on this team. The defense for the Jets is really good. They get to the ball. They're pretty physical. Sauce Gardner is going to play man-to-man all day, most likely on A.J. Brown. So I think this is going to be another Devontae Smith-type game. I think he's going to have a big game. Offensively for, Zach Wilson's got some weapons with Lazard and Randall Cobb and Garrett Wilson. You know what I mean? So, he's got weapons. Breece Hall is a fantastic running back. I think he's elusive. He's a bigger back. I think I can pile over people. And I'm not really worried about the Jets running on us because I feel like if this team can't get over 3 sacks on Zach Wilson, you know what I mean? I think we said the same thing about Sam Howell, but we actually found out that Sam Howell, is pretty damn good. I thought he played a pretty solid game. I think they actually found their quarterback, but we know Zach Wilson's not going to be the future quarterback to the New York Jets. Things have changed because Aaron Rodgers, went to Sunday or Monday Night Football, whatever it was, and had the Achilles injury, 4 plays in, didn't even pass the ball once, and Zach Wilson has been forced. Has really taken that team, has really, the players are trying to really believe in him every single week. And, I think they're the worst team on our schedule right now, and I think you have the worst quarterback. If I see Zach Wilson throw for 3-4 touchdowns and gets 325 yards on us, I'm going to be really pissed off because the Jets have not faced the better team yet. This is going to be the best team they are facing on their schedule right now. And another thing, the Jets have never beat the Eagles in franchise history, and we want to keep that thing going. We don't want the Jets beating us here. So I don't see how this Eagles defensive line can't get pressure. I really don't. It's playing at a high level right now. If they don't even sack Zach Wilson one time, I'll be shockingly surprised. Okay, I thought this size defense last week against the Rams, I thought in the second half he really made some really good adjustments, kind of played those corners just a little tiny bit closer because that first half was just giving yards and giving yards and yards away, okay? There are some good receivers in this receiver core, but Zach Wilson has got to get the ball to them. The Eagles got to get pressure on them. I feel like they will. I feel like they 100,000,000% can, but will it happen and will they do it? There's no reason for Zach Wilson to be upright the whole entire game. Like I'm sorry, but the guy is just not good enough, and I know that. I know he's like the heart and soul of that offense, and the players are starting to believe in him, and I get that. But he shouldn't have a good day. He shouldn't even have partially a good day. And yes, there'll be some short passes. His accuracy is really bad on pressure. But then there's times where he could sling the ball pretty good. There's times where he could sling it and he'll get some things going. But I think contain Breece Hall, and get pressure on Zach Wilson so he can't throw to these receivers. And like I said, the receivers are good. They're not bad. But I'm just saying, like, if Zach Wilson has a good day and they make him a lot better, even like they did Sam Howell a couple weeks ago, like, Washington played well, but I think the Eagles made them look better. But, Sam Howell only had 11 incompletions. That's it. I mean, it was way too much. The completion percentage was a lot higher than it should have been. I understand the Eagles play off the ball. I perfectly get that. Bradley Roby should really be settled now at the nickel spot, not rotating nickel corners like they did in the first half of that Rams game to Ricks, to Goodrich, to this one, to this one, to that one. It was just like, gee, how are you supposed to, like, keep guys in that are hot right now, like, and just let them play, a good portion of the game? I think when Roby got in the second half, I thought he was on Cooper Kupp a few times on some coverages, did a really good job, through a couple receivers that he really had to face, because, most of these teams are saying, well, the Eagles, most of these offenses are saying, well, the Eagles, they have a weakness at the nickel spot, and they usually put some undrafted free agents there, and it's a big weakness, so let's just move our number one receiver on the inside and make this much easier than it can be. So the Eagles are going to give up easy yards. I think that's what we're expected, but the second half of that Rams game, I think they played a lot better when they just played a little. I'm not saying they played press in your face, but they moved up 4 to 5 yards, and it helps tremendously. Get your pass rush home, generate that pass rush. Like I said, this isn't an easy game. This isn't a game where I'm going to step over the Jets and say, this is nothing. I could go out to the mall and go to the pool and have a margarita and don't even have to watch this game because, the Eagles got this. This should be the most comfortable win they have all year. And I think this should. I think there's going to be turnovers. I think we're going to get some fumble recoveries. I think we'll have a pick in this game. But if they don't get to Zach Wilson this game, it's going to be very disappointing that they don't get to one of the worst quarterbacks that is a starting quarterback for an NFL roster right now. And that's all I got to say. I'll be shocked over that. So that's the news on the Jets going forward. And really, other than that, that's pretty much it. Getting ready this week, 6-0. That's where, we're already week 6 already. It's kind of nuts. The season's going to go by so damn fast that, like, we were waiting for it to start. It started, and now we're already at week 6, blink of an eye. So let me know what you guys think about the Jets in general, what we have to do to stop Zach Wilson. What is the key to winning against the Jets in general? And are you really worried about the Jets so much? I know we're going to MetLife. It's a crappy stadium. Everybody gets injured there, which, God, that turf is the worst turf. And these guys need to stay healthy because that field is atrocious for guys to stay healthy. So, just got to pray for those guys as well, everybody on the field. On both sides of the ball, obviously. So, other than that, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your week. Shakes, what up? Follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.